Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. I host a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics, except the one where we got banned on TikTok today for saying Donald Trump late last night. CNN, Wall Street Journal reported the Department of Justice told Donald Trump he's in the Epstein files in May. And also know that before that even, GOP-led House committee voted to publicize the Epstein files. Those are news stories that happened. We got banned from going live on TikTok. I appealed on TikTok and got denied the appeal. I was sharing the links to the CNN and Wall Street Journal articles. Okay? So keep that in mind. I literally can document because I share the links to the articles. Nothing I said was untrue. It was repeating what the Wall Street Journal said, right? And I know we're living through this fascist regime that will absolutely stomp all over your First Amendment rights, and absolutely are silencing and suppressing content creators like myself, a lot of the truth tellers, the people that are actually telling you what's going on. And one of the things you'll notice is I'm not partisan. So I'm not pro-Republican or pro-Democrat, because who wants to be in either of those fucking teams? And really I see it more, they're attempting to wash the narrative and tell the world whatever version they want to tell. Like you see mainstream media absolutely thrashing Donald Trump and then paying him off behind it's like he's got an extortion racket going with these media companies to keep himself cash rich, knowing ultimately, I think the bottom line is, as I've said before, I think he owes dark money to Russia and that he can't pay what he owes because the juice is running. And he was basically broke when he got into the White House, and he's done nothing but try to enrich himself since he got in. And I'm just wondering, just like many of you, when this all stops. And I imagine it's when his heart does. And then the media will drop that and move on because there'd be nothing else to talk about. Because, as I've said before, no one should bother to martyr him. That's how you should feel about Donald Trump, as he absolutely exemplifies what not to do in office. And ultimately, if you martyr him, people will try to exemplify him and follow him up and repeat what he did or take it a step further. We talked today about the Esther Project, which aims to curb pro-Palestinian voices on the left. So people like me that spend time every day on my channel saying Slava Ukraine and Free Palestine. Yeah, we got banned on TikTok for saying Donald Trump was told by the DOJ in May that he's in the Epstein files. So he's known for 90 days that he's in the Epstein files. And look what all he's done to keep the Epstein files from coming out. I'm thinking about Jack Smith and his report volume 2 and how it never came out either. And I want to speak to inevitability. And I want you to hang on, and I want you to know that he's focused on deporting Elon Musk. That's right, the President of the United States finally has said he has 10 days. See, he can't even get deportation right. You're supposed to give him 30 days, Don, and a ticket home. And here's to hoping Elon Musk winds up in CCOT, right? if there's any justice in the world. It is unfortunate, though, that some wise people came to me and said, you know what's really harmful about all of this is that these are Donald Trump's lovers. Elon Musk, Jeffrey Epstein. And he had him killed, jailed his wife, had his own ex-wife knocked off too. And if he thought someone that had their best friend and their ex-wife knocked off and put their best friend's wife in prison wasn't going to be an absolute disaster of a fucking political candidate and president the second time, know that this second term Donald Trump is only favored less by first term Donald Trump. So congratulations. You're the worst president ever twice. And it sucks having your free speech abridged for saying it. But we'll rise above. Like, what the fuck? We take our licks. We get kicked off of fucking TikTok for a week and can't go live. Understand, we're not making money off it. That once I started realizing that they're just taking my free speech away, I realized eventually there'll be a class action lawsuit against TikTok. Because I have an agent. I have people that are pointing me out to things where they're currently silencing pro-Palestinian voices every day, and for over 9 months now. I think going on 9 months. I think on August 11th or 12th it'll be 9 months straight. The world is doing their best to silence us. And still I'm here every day. Is because there is something greater than profit. I think it's a community. I think it's a group of like-minded people that sit down together regularly and talk about what's going on in the world and develop a path forward together that is something they can actually do. You know, I encourage people privately to grow gardens and put up solar panels and draw your own water and purify your own water. And start doing that shit now when you've got water and you've got power. Because I think an escalation of what is already happening here is rich people taking down the grid to show their power. How we are completely functional without power. Are you? Right? And we before we are lorded over by all these billionaires that have created all this wealth for themselves and have sacrificed so many people already and so much of our environment already, right? Before that is all, just know that I did found the American Socialist Party, and that part of being a socialist is knowing not to take stupid risks. And one of the stupid risks that I saw was when I went to establish a bank account at a credit union. They started asking me if we were politically affiliated before we even joined the fucking credit union. And I was like, whoa, I need to fucking protect myself. Because look at what is going on in the world. So if you're wondering why I've been slow moving, it's because in order to establish yourself as a political party in the United States, you either have to spend $5,000 on it. I'm not going to do that. I don't have money. And I'm not going to take your money to do that. That wouldn't be very socialist of me. Or you put up $1,000. And if I had any inkling that I was going to be 100% to be able to establish the American Socialist Party, I'd have put the money up. But if I have any doubt in my mind that I'm going to put up $1,000 and it's essentially going to be blown away in the wind, I got to be prepared to live with it. And I'm not quite at a financial position where it's like I could shit a brick, $1,000, and nothing happened, and not impact my ability to like meet my needs and pay my bills. Does that track? So I know a lot of people are andale, arriba, but it's like, calm down. I'm trying not to make myself a target. I'm trying to get the fucking word out. I post long form. People tend to like it better. And it tends to let you get your whole message out. I'm being suppressed and silenced. I got kicked off TikTok today for saying the DOJ told Donald Trump in May that he's on the Epstein list. And again, I want to point out, as someone whose why is that my best friend while I was on active duty in the Marine Corps was murdered, and he was given an other than honorable, and they told me when he first died that he killed himself. And so for more than a decade, I mourned the loss of my best friend. His name was R.J. Rady. And in 2018, his wife reached out to me and said, hey, I know, you've been through hell the last 10 years, mourning the loss of R.J. Rady, but he was murdered. Instead of he did it to himself, someone did it to him, effectively, while he was unconscious. And so my why is that I want to tell his story, and I want R.J. Rady's other than honorable discharge overturned. Because, I was raised in the church, and one of the Bible verses that I remember is John 15:13, that says there's no greater love than he who would lay down his life for his friends. And so that's me. Using my platform for exactly that, and not to profit. If you've ever watched my show, you know I don't ask for money. It's because I have a purpose. And so it really does bother me. It really shakes me. As we learn more about Donald Trump and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, you realize that they were best fucking friends for 20 fucking years and spent a lot of time together doing an awful lot of heavily illegal shit. I watched a video yesterday of Jeffrey Epstein invoking his 5th, 14th, and 15th Amendments or some whatever, when asked if he hung out with Donald Trump around minors. And then come to find out, the DOJ told him in May that he's in them books. That he's on the Epstein list. Of course he is. He's a feature. We got kicked off TikTok for that. And we lost our appeal. And I went to my agent, because I'm a represented talent. Believe that. I went to my agent, and Penelope Jones said, I'll file an appeal, but unless you can speak about it in code, don't talk about it on a live or you'll get banned. And that confirms for me very quickly that the Esther project is real. It's very easy. They're doing what they can to silence people on the left. Dude, I slay. Every day I say Slava Ukraine and Free Palestine. What the fuck? I played, what's funny about this? I played Pro-Am TikTok, or Pro-Am NBA 2K a couple years ago, and our team colors were Palestine's colors. And I think about, could I even post NBA 2K highlights from that on TikTok? Or would they ban it? Just because red, black, and green? Jesus Christ. Have a good day.